Good morning. Welcome to Community Voice. I'm your host, Keith Parris. I want to thank everybody for joining us this morning. Good morning, Clark. Good morning, Debo. Good morning, Jermaine.
Good morning, Bishop.
What's happening, everybody? Let me do this. There's going to be a meeting tomorrow, Block Watch Club members and neighbors, tomorrow at the Village Library at 10. This is an event sponsored by Safe and Sound. And you can get some updates on some of the things that Safe and Sound is doing. Again, that's 10 p.m. tomorrow at the Village Library, 5190 North 35th Street. And I think they can talk to you about the different grants that might be available. So, yeah, I think that's we like that our next grant to go for it. But yeah, to do a mural. And this is talking about the young people that we've lost to gun violence. So again, that will be tomorrow at the Village Library. Tomorrow's February 28th from 10 a.m. from 10 a.m. Let me just see how long it goes again. And again, to all my Muslim brothers and sisters, Ramadan Mubarak, as you go through this very holy season of fasting. What up, DJ?
Good morning.
All right. I got that out the way. Last day here for Black History Month here on the program, though we do Black History 365. Got it? Okay. This is a great book. I started off Black History Month with Before the Mayflower, and I'm going to end it with Black AF History. I can't say what AF stands for, but this is the Unwhitewashed Story of America by Michael Harriot. Michael Harriot is a great writer. He's funny, humorous, great takes on history, and certainly us in the diaspora here, those of us who are descendants of enslaved Africans. This is a great book. And again, Black AF History, the Unwashed Story of America. So again, I started with Before the Mayflower and by Lerone Bennett Jr. And again, Black AF History, the Unwhitewashed Story of America by Michael Harriot. I was just reading this morning about the beginning of how Spain and Portugal got into the slave trade. Fascinating history. Talks about the role of the Catholic Church. There's a lot there. So let me do this, and we'll be doing this throughout the program as we get through, because it's Friday, about everything and nothing. But I've had people call in, talk about the erasure of our history. We talk about it. People, they're taking this down. They're taking this down. So our question today for Friday, and again, it was throughout the program, if you can think something that you learned this month for Black History, February 2026. Something, they don't have to be big, don't have to be small. Could be something you heard here, something you read. But I just like to, we can't tell other people it's so important that they don't erase the history, and we don't even know the history, right? So this is what Dr. Carter G. Woodson wanted us to do, was to know our history. Do it for me, Jermaine.
Know your history.
Right. So all you righteous, down for Black folks, hopefully you learned something, because what I have discovered is the vastness of our history here in America, right? And there's just so many different things, like it was a Black man that invented potato chips. I got to look up hot sauce. But anyway, so yes, ranch dressing. That was one.
That's why I like ranch dressing so much.
And we talked about it yesterday. And Hidden Valley was actually a place owned by a Black man who, him and his wife, set up a restaurant, and I think he ended up selling it for $60 million.
I didn't know that.
Black History Month, bro.
Need a DJ.
Story. So phone lines open so you can call in. And yesterday I had Dino getting at me. Why didn't I do this? Why didn't I do that? Come on, man. If nothing else, we do a whole lot of geek stuff on the program. Hey, did you get a chance to talk to Dr. Settle Robinson about the onion and the sock?
No.
Oh.
I
Then he missed it.
I didn't even think about it.
I bet you didn't.
I'm gonna talk to him when I
Yeah,
get
you
down
say
there.
when you see her, you go and you
I
ask her.
promise you.
Hey, I just learned something else.
What's that?
Jermaine thinks.
Yeah.
He said,
Yeah.
I didn't think about it,
Yeah.
which means he think
Sometimes-
about something.
Sometimes it come off as just blurring out,
Slow down.
but it really be thought.
Don't
put
hurt
behind
yourself.
it.
All
It's really
right.
thoughts.
Yeah.
You gonna be sore in the morning.
Right.
Yeah.
Slow
Use
down.
the muscles you have
Slow
been
down.
using.
Hey, you're like,
Oh, that hurts. I know when I be doing some serious thinking, I be going like, "Ooh, that hurt. That hurt."
Well, I could just go like you said, something small. I think it's big though, but I learned that there is a museum. I forgot where it's at, but there's a museum here in the United States dedicated to Black inventions. And so
And we had I thought there was a
Yeah.
sister here who had I think Peggy Hardy.
so that's definitely one of the things that's like on my bucket list to like
to
go
check
to
out.
that
Yeah.
to that museum.
When we went down for the 50th anniversary of the assassination of Dr. King, we went to the Civil Rights Museum,
Mhm.
which had some great artifacts. I've had a chance to go to what the Museum of African American History in DC. Finally got a chance to visit that. And you know, if you're going to DC, you go out that way. It's really because the way that the museum, it starts in the basement. So the basement is like enslavement, African history, and you work
Mhm.
your way up. In spite of what the Trump administration.
Strike one, man.
There's Mike.
What's wrong with you, man? What is wrong with you?
10-second quarter.
All right. Yeah, but that is another museum that I would like to go through, the one in DC.
And we went to, I think it's now the Frederick Douglass Benjamin Banneker Museum in Annapolis, Maryland. The Frederick Douglass Museum in Baltimore in the Inner Harbor. There's some great, and then of course if you go down to Chicago, the DeSalvo Museum, which is great. So,
And then is it this year or next year that former President Obama has his
I think it's going to be completed this year.
and he has a lot of history artifacts and things of that nature that will be within that museum as well.
Yep. And then, of course, and you don't have to travel far. You can go to Wisconsin Black Historical Society. You can also go to the Black Holocaust Museum. So I was going down North Avenue. I was going to the funeral, and I saw a school bus in front of the Black Holocaust Museum. All the stuff that we can do. I just saw it now. I think the Lion King is coming.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, and so that's kind of a tradition for us with the God Kids, and so I'm sure Kennedy and Melanie are going to go. Mia too; she's too young, but they'll be able to go. But the kids can tell you that was something that Rhonda took them to, and they went to see the Lion King. So I'm just saying, don't just talk about your history, know your history, because I'm learning stuff every day. And let me do this real quick.
It's so much that you haven't. If you really care about it, it's going to be something that you learn every day.
Stuff you didn't know. I was kind of related to what I was reading here, the second chapter of the book. There was trading going on it would be the southwest coast of Africa, Mozambique and Angola, where Europeans would come in and they would trade with the Africans. And so this Brazil got many of its enslaved Africans from Mozambique, right? I think in Angola. Yeah. So man, just great history. We started off, I know, in our children's church this month. We always do Mansa Musa, the richest man in history. So when folks kind of know your history, it's important that you know your history. There's a reason why Jewish kids are in Sabbath school, every Saturday, is because they're learning their history. And I think we have to do a better job. I mean, and some of the stuff that we look is funny. Like we found out the guy who invented the wave cap. I mean, what was it? The do-rag. What was the name of his company? Too Many Waves.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, caller. Welcome to the program.
Good morning, you're on there.
Good morning, you guys. Yeah, I learned a couple things. First off, I was looking at a bio on 15 of the most famous black singers, women singers. And I didn't know that those record company executives, some of their managers, even the people who ran the studios, exacted a lot of pain out of those women. They, in fact, had their own, they call it in acting, casting couch. And some of these people, they had in their contract, they had to put out before they even could put a record out. I mean, just the things they did, the dehumanization of black people, just when you had talent and skill, and you didn't, then most of these people died broke. And all of the profits and all of the royalties and everything were assigned to the people who own the record companies. And
Right.
so I'd heard it, but I had never thought about the next phase of that sex was built into some of the contracts. And so I kind of almost cried. I was just thinking about the pain that those women went through just to be talented, just to put a record out. And then the second piece is I went to, if you ever been to Tuskegee, you can go to George Washington Carver Museum. You know, he invented over 300 products. And when you walk through it, you see all the different everything. You even see his version of plastic.
Wow. Okay.
He did it, and it's even mentioned in It's a Wonderful Life when the guy said, there's an invention they found in Alabama, and we're going down there. And so between Carnegie, between Kellogg, and between Ford, them guys, George Washington Carver made them guys rich, but he did not just give it to them. He gave it to them, but he exacted. You know, it's always said that most of the black people that got hired in Detroit by Ford, when they started moving north, that was negotiated by George Washington Carver. So it was just fascinating. Then I do a lot with engineering, architecture, and all of those things. And when you go into the book I have called Blacks in Science and Engineering, you just kind of go crazy at all the things they put their hands on or they created. You know, the real McCoy. There was actually a real McCoy.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's Elijah McCoy. And so just a wealth of just knowing who you are, where you come from, and that your intelligence was doubted. But it was way more than doubt that they were scared of. They were scared of you actually doing something with it.
And that's a great segue. Thanks, Tyrone. I started watching this documentary this morning called Field Generals, The Rise of the Black Quarterback on Peacock. If you have Peacock, man, you got to watch this. You know, you got to watch it. It engendered a certain level of anger that I had going back, kind of remembering there's some names like Marlon Briscoe, Eldridge Dickey, James Shaq Harris, these guys, the story around Warren Moon and how Warren Moon, and one of the things they juxtaposed that too is, and I didn't realize this, when Lamar Jackson came out of Louisville, didn't he win the Heisman?
Yeah.
He came out of Louisville and they wanted to move him to receiver. So he refused to do anything. He said, no, I'm going to play quarterback. But go back and look at these guys. Some of these guys, people don't realize Tony Dungy was
A quarterback
at the University of Minnesota. And now when he gets to the NFL, he gets drafted by Pittsburgh, which is really kind of ironic because
DB.
Yeah, they moved him to defensive back. Jefferson Street Joe Gillum. I mean, there were people out there that you didn't. Vince Evans, who played at USC.
You know, that's one of the reasons why I hopped on you.
Uh,
That's one of the reasons why I hopped on your case about Lamar.
Yeah, now he got some deficits, but all quarterbacks do. And so I don't know if they're gonna how far they go in Shadur Sanders, which is kind of a different situation. But yeah, I watch it. I mean, the racism, it shows a whole lot, and they do a very good job of juxtaposing what's going on during that time, right? So they talk about the civil rights movement, right? Then they talk about right now I'm up on Ronald Reagan, right? And what Ronald Reagan did, and people may or may not remember this, but when Ronald Reagan announced his run in 1980 for president, He did it in what's the name? Neshoba County, Philadelphia, Mississippi. That's where the 3 civil rights workers were killed. That was by design. And then they play a tape by Lee Atwater talking about how to do the Southern strategy. Man, watch this documentary. It's on Peacock. It's called Field Generals. I think it's Rise of the Black Quarterback. It's just amazing. People that I can remember their names as a kid. You know, people today say that Warren Moon threw the best football ever. They said his spiral was so tight and that you could hear the ball. That's how well he could throw the ball. He won the MVP in the Rose Bowl, I want to say 78, when he was at the University of Washington. He was hell-bent on playing quarterback. I didn't know this. I knew Marcus Allen played quarterback in college because there were some times in the pros he played. No, not in college, in high school.
Okay.
I didn't know that James Lofton played quarterback. And they moved him when he went to Stanford. They moved him to receiver. So, man, just and how the way that they were playing then and the NFL was saying like, oh, no, that's too much the mobile quarterback. And now that's the model. If you can't move as a quarterback, chances are they're not going to draft it to have
Warren
someone.
Moon, Randall Cunningham, Doug Williams.
They talk about Doug Williams.
What's the guy? Cordell Stewart.
Cordell.
You know, he
Slash.
You know, they consider him one of the he probably wasn't as good as Randall and Warren, but like one of those guys that like ushered in Mike Vick, right? And then, you know, Dante Culpepper, you know, and Donovan McNabb. Like, you know, I remember, obviously I was born in 92, but I remember the stigma and the racist comments that they will make towards black players, basically saying that black players aren't smart enough to be quarterback.
And somebody said Tony Dungy,
right,
is not smart
and
enough.
so I looked up to Tony Dungy when I was in high school. One of my English teachers, she passed away, Lynn Menifee. She gave me his book. And he talked about him being at the University of Minnesota and being a quarterback. I want to say he grew up in Michigan.
Yeah.
He's from the Michigan area. He wanted to be like at Michigan or Michigan State, one of them, because I believe, you know, I'm loosely remembering, but one of his parents was a college professor. And I want to say it was Michigan State. But I could be mistaken. And just how, you know, he was a fairly successful quarterback at Minnesota. And then, you know, once he got drafted by Pittsburgh by a Hall of Fame coach, it wasn't even a negotiation. He was moved to DB.
I think it was also Joe Gilliam was there at that point. And so Joe Gilliam was playing, but the racism, and I think they had a little stretch where they weren't playing as well.
Chuck Noll was the quarterback. Was the coach.
Yep. And but anybody ever saw Joe Gilliam throw a football? Man, Jefferson Street Joe, he wasn't a joke. So I mean, you know, the kind of, and then for me, you know, I grew up in that era, right? And so you get a chance to see, but the whole idea of black quarterbacks, you couldn't play middle linebacker. You couldn't play center if you were black.
That could be, you know, I have to research this more, but that could be part of the reason why Charlie Ward decided to be a basketball player versus a quarterback, because he was a Heisman Trophy winner.
And they weren't going to let him play quarterback. They was talking about his size. And then I sit up and I look at people like Doug. Well, and I'm going to say they heard Doug Flutie. You know, where Doug Flutie turned out to be a serviceable quarterback, but they used things like size, and then they had a prototype.
Guys like Trent Dilfer, he wasn't cold, and nobody.
No. What I'm saying,
I'm saying somebody that was way better, a Heisman Trophy. But you know, they accepted a guy of that.
And let me throw out another name, Cornelius Green, who played quarterback at Ohio State when Archie Griffin was there. You know, so Woody Hayes had started a black, and that could happen because there was a brother who was playing at Michigan State, who was a quarterback.
Mind you, Lamar Jackson, this was recent. Like you talking about when you were younger, right? And that was about 30, 40, no, not 30, but about 40, 50 years ago. And then we talking about the 90s, late 80s, 90s with, Warren Moon, Randall Cunningham.
Well, Patrick Mahomes said, if I don't play quarterback, I'm playing baseball.
Lamar Jackson, this was like 2017,
Right.
2018.
Right.
So that racism still resides today, obviously, because when you go to, when NFL players, retired NFL players want to get some assistance with healthcare, they bring up all of these, perfunctory excuses to not provide them the necessary financial support in order to get the healthcare that they need.
Yeah, you got, and a lot of them give credit to what they talk about again, Marlon Briscoe, who ended up, he played 1 year at Denver. They played him, had a great year, and then they moved him to wide receiver. You get angry, and it wasn't just on the pro level; it was also in college,
Right?
Where, if you weren't at Grambling, if you weren't at Jackson
Mhm.
State, just think about and I know he could Eric McNair play at Ole Miss or play at Alabama? Question is yes,
Right.
better than most of the quarterbacks that they had at Ole Miss.
And his
Alabama.
professional career showed it.
Right. And do you know there's only one black quarterback in the Pro Football Hall of Fame? Do anybody know who that is?
Warren Moon.
Warren Moon. He's the only, and he's making the case for McNair. He's making the case for Donovan McNabb.
I say this:
Randall Cunningham.
if Eli Manning make the Hall of Fame, which he shouldn't, McNabb deserves to be in that, because up and down he was better than McNabb. Now, better than Eli Manning. Now, obviously, Eli Manning had 2 good seasons, but for the totality of his career, he was 500, literally 500. So that's not Hall of Fame. And for them to even be considering him as a Hall of Famer, but not Donovan McNabb, is you have to point to race. There's nothing else you could point to, because there are many players that didn't win the Super Bowl that are in the Hall of Fame.
Thank you.
So you can't point to, Eli Manning won the Super Bowl. There's plenty of players that didn't win the Super Bowl that are in the Hall of Fame.
We got no. All right, you listen to Community Voice Free Throw Friday, last day of Black History Month here at the station on the air. We celebrated
365.
There you go, wearing it. Also, again, in our question, it don't have to be big, just something that you might have learned this month, Black History Month in 2026. We're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back. All right, welcome back to Community Voice, and it's Friday. And joined in the studio by Devon Jones, DJ the Protege, Clark Kent. Come on, man. Angela getting ready to call in and do you. So
No, ain't no doing going on.
Oh, it's a lot of that going on. It's a lot of that.
Ain't no doing.
hey, right, I'll fall back, man.
Your
Fall
relationship
back,
was
man.
already made
Right,
public.
fall back, man.
She about to call in now.
The relationship is already made public. You know what I'm saying? So I don't even know. It's already public, man.
Yeah, fall back.
Paparazzi caught you.
Let
you
me
know.
shout out Debo. Debo sent me a list of 100 inventions that Black people have done in America. I love this one, the ice cream scoop.
Yeah, people like that.
Yeah. Caller, welcome to the program.
Good morning, you're on there.
Yeah, we should have a discussion on what's going on within our community. I feel there's a lack of self-respect and pride coming from some of our people. And I heard something yesterday where they said, well, people start living good, the first thing they do, they want to move out of the hood. And my thing is, why should you settle? Why should you have to settle for garbage? Why should you have to settle for people who choose to act like dumb monkeys and niggas? Why should you have to stay around a place or a group of people who lack class and honor? And I think that was very disturbing because I live on the north side. And I hate that I live on the north side. I hate that I can't go for a walk in my neighborhood. I hate somebody putting ladders on my house to steal my sugar honey iced tea where they can go steal from their mama or go find their daddy that failed them and go steal from them. But it's always when it comes to Black people, no, let me not that, no, because Black people are not the problem or the Mexicans. It's always said by people who have low vibration situations that you should settle to live around niggas. And it should be okay for their nigga situations. What do you think about that?
I think that because we asked this question about integration and why was integration or why would you send your kids to these schools? I think you want the best for your kids. And so do you say that I'm going to sacrifice my child in terms of what their future might be, in terms of their success, where I put them in an inferior school? And I'm only saying inferior in terms of resources that are available, not the people in the school, but just the resources of the school. So yeah,
Because a lot of those kids ain't bright either.
the kids are bright. I just think that they're not developed.
A lot of these schools, both in the suburbs and out, are not performing well.
Okay, but that's the difference. But then that's on the system. That ain't on the child. You know, I mean that.
I mean, but the child is the recipient
They're the
of
victim
that.
of it,
So
or the beneficiary. But that kids come in, they're bright. They're ready to learn. We were talking yesterday about the Black Panther Party doing the hot breakfast program in the morning, and they said that the kids' performance in school would improve. Poverty can impact your learning. You know, so those factors. So I agree in terms of if people look, it's not so much that you want to go and live with white folks. It has everything to do with that might be a better house than the house that you're living in now, and it just happens to be in a white neighborhood.
But if you have pride and self-respect, poverty will be a choice because you will not allow yourself to live with this mental baggage of because you are a certain color.
I disagree with
No,
that.
yes,
Al.
I do. I believe it's a choice because I've seen in my own family where they worked. Wasn't nobody on welfare. Didn't nobody say I'm Black and because of the white man. So from what I see in myself, and I have seen people who came up had nothing, but they didn't allow themselves nor did they allow their kids to be a bunch of niggas, steal cars, and then sit there and say, well, the car is easy to
But
steal.
Al, the difference between you and maybe some of these kids is what you were taught in your home. You were taught pride, right? So, but if you're in an environment, and we assume that everybody is raised like we were raised, that's obviously not true. So what I'm saying
But
is,
also we got to stop highlighting isolated situations, because
Isolated.
Yeah,
How's it isolated?
you talking about your personal experiences, that's isolated, because everybody wait, your isolated experiences is based on your perspective. Other people, like my perspective, is isolated pertaining to me. I cannot generalize what I experience and view and then just say gloss it over everybody else and generalize.
So why do they got so much pride when they got Cartier glasses, fake mink jackets on?
is that real
and
pride?
everybody thinks they suited and
Is
booted?
that real pride? We faking it until we make it, man.
Yeah,
I think people are trying to compensate for what they don't have.
and that's an old saying.
And then we use material success as something that is what people see, right? If I don't see, you said something. You saw people getting up, going to work every day. What about that kid that's growing up in a home where he don't see people getting up, going to work every day? That's going to have more impact on that child and how that child views the world.
And it's going to take even more to bring him up out of that to view. You know how many black people in that we consider that have a right mind and a great head on their shoulders that said, hey, it took me X amount of years to realize that the world is bigger than my block.
Well, how long
That's a real thing. And so to just say that these people didn't want more, no, they just wasn't exposed to more.
So-
And then after a while then they realized, wow, critical thinking is important. Wow, the world is bigger than 29th Street or 27th Street.
So we're gonna use all that for the excuse of the North Side.
No. We're saying it's not an excuse. My mom used to say that to me. I said, Mom, it's not an excuse. It is a fact. And whether we like the fact or not, and here's the other thing, like somebody had to tell me a long time ago, everybody ain't you, right? So what they mean is that everybody didn't have, as DJ said, had the life experience that I had that put me, I was better situated. We act as if everybody comes here and boom, you come here as a blank check as a child. You know, you're not born evil, you're not born good, and then you learn these things. So it's your environment. What's happening in the environment? You know,
some people never have the ability to leave that environment. Right. And to just to go back on, because you know, you said this, and this is one of the misnomers that I just cannot stand. People that are on these social benefit programs, they're not all lazy. All right. Statistics have shown for many, many years that majority of these people work multiple jobs. Right. All right. And they are in poverty still. And guess what? When you work your ass off to get off of those programs are then stripped away from you. So then there is still the ability to be in poverty, even though you potentially do make more, but now the assistance that you had is taken away. So yes, people. You
do know there's organizations out there that will help you get a college degree.
Right.
There are grants out there that will help you even today with things that's going on.
But even to your point, that's going to take you away from your child. That's going to take you away from making money because you have to pay money in order to get a degree.
So that means then we're just gonna sit here, let our neighborhoods go from sugar to sugar honey iced tea.
No.
Let niggly stop black people from moving, and then when they take away the resources, we're going to put our hands up. Because I feel where we're going right now, there is a standard of a culture that they don't want to give back to them redneck heathens that came over from England, and they're using it to tear down their freaking neighborhood. And now the black people got to suffer. Then you got these politicians, they'll get on TV and say, we're going to sue Kia, But you won't get on TV where you got the perfect opportunity to say, look, you tell your nigga babies, you know that car he get in, it's not yours.
So this is what we have to do, Al.
With that pistol.
This is what we got to do, Al. This is what we got to do because consistently you come in and complain. This is my solution. No, wait a minute, because I said this a while ago. This is what I said a while ago, that this is one thing that we have to stop doing, is we have to stop complaining. We can complain for years and years and years, but what's the solutions that's going to come behind those complaints? So this is my solution to that complaint. My solution is stop preaching to the choir. All right. We consistently bring up issues to people that we already know what the issues are. And we've consistently raised these issues to individuals that we know don't even act like this. When we talk about reckless driving, when we talk about respect for our elders, when we even talk about education, we raise these issues amongst people who have a respect for those things. But let's stop preaching to the choir. Let's go to those individuals in those neighborhoods and those groups of people that don't believe in those same things and that don't come up from that type of environment in which you was raised to have some sense of pride. Okay, we got to stop just always highlighting the negative aspect of our community, because that does us no good. When are we going to stop preaching to the choir? And when are we going to go into those neighborhoods and those valleys that are dark, but we can still have some change come about that?
I received a text that says, I'll side with Al on this one. We spend a great deal of time talking about and defending the negative. We rarely talk about the negative home values that have to be changed to get a better education. We blame it on teachers who have more positive values. I think we have to have, and
all we do is talk about the negative.
That's not all we do.
I'm just saying, whenever listen, there are more complaints that come into this station and other stations than there is highlights.
Do you think those complaints are legitimate?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I'm saying that's where it stops, though. It just stops at complaints. What's the solution?
But
what's the suggestion? No. We cannot. So
we don't know what always people are doing.
But that's not the point.
It is the point.
No, it's not the point. You want to know why? Because if they were doing something, then they will follow it up with, here's what I'm doing. Here is a resource that you can reach out to. When has Al done that? When has many other people? We can probably count on our fingers how many times, and we will be hard pressed to count how many times individuals outside of Michelle, outside of Lakeisha, and maybe outside of Tyrone Dumas and the every once in a while politician that comes in and call into the program. But we consistently get callers that complain. One,
don't you think that outlet is important?
It is important, but but I'm not negating the complaints.
Okay.
What I'm saying is we can't just complain and leave it at that. At some point, there has to be a solution. And if you have no solutions, then come up with some yourself or reach out for a solution.
Sometimes the solution is really local. And what I mean by it's really local is, number one, I don't become a negative statistic, right? I become the embodiment of that, and people are going to see. I'm not going to put it all on Al. I'm not going to put it all on Jesse Jackson. I mean, we all have our part to play, and how you see yourself. But and I get frustrated hearing the frustration. Okay, and I agree with you. We have to move, but then those are the discussions. So you will always start from the negative. You shouldn't always, but you do.
Right.
And then you move then to a positive. Here's what I can do.
But when are we going to get to that positive?
We never. It's not that simple, though.
Dude,
it's not that simple.
It is very simple to brainstorm solutions. If it's as simple as, because it's very simple to complain. What are you talking about? It's very simple to complain.
What I'm saying is that DJ, the problem it is big. It's systemic.
It is.
It's things that's outside of our control.
And my
Al
point is,
can
we
go
know
all
this.
up and down his block.
My point is,
But that
these
doesn't
things-
move the needle in terms of the systemic issues that create the conditions that some people find themselves in.
My point is, the things that Al has been complaining about are things that probably you have complained about, that I've complained about,
Okay.
and others have complained about.
But-
So we complaining about the same thing, but when have we got to some solutions? All right, these complaints are decades, generations, years old, yet we still have no solutions. You want to know what? People keep complaining about why black people haven't come together, why black people are seemingly in the same position that they were 15, 10, 30 years ago. That complaint is still there, but where are the solutions to that?
Those solutions are multifaceted. Caller, welcome to the program.
Good morning, you on there?
Good morning.
Morning.
I have a comment. Can you hear me?
Yes.
I am on, so I didn't know. Am I breaking up?
You breaking up a little now. You wasn't before.
Okay. Well, let me take. Okay. What I wanted to say is that I think that if you're going to complain, please don't generalize, because when people say the North Side, for people who don't, I mean, where does that begin and where does that end? You're blasting a whole community, everybody in it, from where to where. And if Al wants to call in and complain about his neighborhood, then he should say the boundaries of his neighborhood or something, because I think I'm going to share a story. When I was about 12 years old, I grew up in a small town in North Carolina. And, back then, everybody kind of lived where they could live. So we had people who were wealthier, people who were poor. But about that time, in a larger city, Greensboro, nearby, they were starting to develop subdivisions. So you had these middle-class subdivisions going up. I had a friend who came. Her mother was a teacher, so her mother got a job in our little town. They lived in Greensboro. They lived in a middle-class subdivision. She didn't know where I lived, but when she found out where I lived, this girl I was in school with, said to me, "I didn't know you lived in that slum." Okay, I had grown up. I'm an A student. Nobody ever, looked down on me. Nobody ever, because of where I lived. But because she came from the area where there was this growing, I guess, middle class kind of neighborhood where all the houses looked perfect and everybody, she thought was perfect, then she's calling my neighborhood a slum. So I'm beginning, if you want to trigger me at all, is to call the whole neighborhood something, because that's unfair. And first of all, Al has, and everybody, we all have a responsibility to be like where we are. And maybe sometimes that's hard, but I feel like you can't. The reason why we are hurting ourselves is because those same people who are marketing things, deciding where to build things, they're building statistics about what neighborhoods are good and what neighborhoods are bad. And we are hurting our own selves when we do this, when we label a whole north side, a whole any side, because you're just giving people reasons to not come into this neighborhood and to not add some resources, some businesses, because you're already saying there's nothing good here. And I think that's ridiculous.
All right.
That's all I gotta say.
Thank you. The issue isn't people having complaints. In order for us to find some growth, Mrs. Wanzo, the biggest room in the world is the room for improvement. So in order to improve, there has to be some imperfection there. There has to be some complaints there. But the lack of growth stems from not pontificating on any possible solutions. We can have a years long complaint fest, but what good is that going to do if no solutions are coming behind it? Not to say that the solutions may work. Life is trial and error. I didn't learn how to tie my shoe the first time my mom showed me. I had to keep working at it. But to not bring forth any solutions does a disservice to our people and the community and the world at large. And all I do is hear about complaints.
That's not all you do.
Well, all I hear.
That's not all you do.
And okay, everything is absolute. A lot. I hear a lot of complaints,
There you
and
go.
I don't hear and I don't hear just as many solutions. And that is the bigger issue for me.
And maybe sometimes we might not know, what the solution might be. I mean, and I don't want people to think I'm making excuses. That becomes my frustration that that a lot of times we can be overly simplistic about it, but I know our feelings are real, right? I
Mhm.
mean,
Yeah.
and how we're I just did a message, be angry, but don't move off your square, right? That there is anger, but then you have to turn that anger into righteous anger and then come up then, as you say, with solutions and then to apply it. And then here's the thing. Everybody wasn't down with the civil rights movement.
Right.
Okay. So, that and the reason why
But to me, that's not even a valid point.
No, it's why is it a valid point?
Because
everybody wasn't down.
Right. But I'm saying, but that was at least a solution, whether you down for the solution or not, that's your personal choice.
Let me shout out the good folks there, the New Pitts Mortuary. Good morning, good morning, good morning as they drive by.
Whether you agree or attend that solution, that's your personal choice. But the fact that a solution was presented is a step in a positive direction. That's
all right. You're listening to Community Voice. The phone lines are open 414-444-5250. And it's still out there, y'all. I'd love to get this call. One thing you learned that you didn't know during this Black History Month. One thing that you learned that you didn't know. It didn't have to be one. It didn't have to be big. It didn't have to be major. But something you went like, wow, I didn't know that. Phone lines open 414-444-5250, 414-444-5250. We're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back. All right, welcome back to Community Voice. Because he looked pretty thin. Is that Bobby Brown? Oh, yeah, it looked like Bobby. Come on, man. Let's see. Is Bobby? You see Bobby? Is that Bobby right there? Second?
Yeah, he's the second.
Right here.
He's the second behind who's that in front? Ryan, ain't it?
Yeah. There's Ralph back there. Okay. All right. And now it's time for the Protege's perspective. Ooh, bubbles.
Stop all this giggling and sniggling, man. Often we move aimlessly in a world that requires much attentiveness to the many issues that are present. Our focus may be on something less consequential, like a sports game or which bar are you going to meet up with a group of friends. While these things are fun and entertaining, your purpose is certainly much broader than that. Truly, business and pleasure provides a healthy balance in an effort to prevent burnout, but indulging in too much pleasure creates uncertainty and maybe even insecurity. Finding your purpose while indulging in frivolous activities only distract you from what can fulfill you the most. If you are uncertain of your purpose and what path to take, remember that all answers resides with the one who rests at heaven's gate. Through your journey, you will encounter unsettling interactions in an unfamiliar place, but you must never forget that to be outside the will of God is the worst place. Understand that you have all the answers, not because you have all the answers, but because they will be given to you when the time is right. Your purpose resides in you because that in which fulfills you is within you. Yes, all of the answers that you are looking for resides within you because it is God that fills you. The more you look for answers in him, the more those conversations in the mirror will present them. All things that are in search of, all things that you are in search of does not reside without, but within. An old church song reminds us of what a friend. And with us being in that will, it is because of him. Due to this, it is such a revelation to find yourself outside of that place. Because if this is the case, I can think of no worser place.
Or her.
Mhm.
Her will. You 414.
Well, I'm not a her, so I'm gonna refer to him as him because I'm a him.
Trying to help you, man, to become a progressive theologian, bro.
No, God could be a woman.
No way. No.
To a woman, yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Jesus said, "My Father who's in heaven." He didn't say my mother. So that right there kills all of the speculation.
Because she was here.
Yeah. So my Father, which is God, who's in heaven. He didn't say my mother.
She was here.
But also we were made in the image. So if you are a woman, which you're not, you're
Right.
gonna refer to him as him. But if you are a woman, you may refer to her as her.
If a woman came in here and looked at you, she ain't gonna refer to you as a her. She gonna refer to you as a him, because that's who you are. So stop it, bro.
Oh,
No,
did you see? He got all deep.
I did stop listening to him because George had George posted a comment and I was trying to read what George was saying. What'd you say?
You didn't miss anything.
Sorry.
You didn't miss nothing.
No, you didn't miss nothing. Don't even worry about it.
Not trying to keep up with the comment.
Don't even worry about it, brother. But you got a phone call though.
Welcome to the program. Keep it moving.
Yeah,
keep it moving.
Don't even worry about it.
Good morning, you on there?
Yeah, good morning again, you guys. I was in the car running. I wanted to just comment a little bit on the conversation earlier about, I just want to give you a little story about myself. I was a okay student. I was a little rebel when we was young. I got all the values taught to me by my grandmother, my mother, and all the men that were around at us. But in 1969, my mother got really sick. She couldn't operate the restaurant we had. And so the first thing that happened that spring of 69 is she got behind the electric bill. They came and cut off the electric. Then the second thing they came and cut off was the gas. And so we had to live that way because my mother didn't believe in any programs or asking anybody for nothing. Even though she was sick and 3 kids was dependent on, we had to figure it out. And so I understand, and I was a bad student, but after that summer of living with no electricity and no gas, and also that September they cut the water off, and so we had to live for 30 days without any water. It taught me some things. It taught me that if I wanted to stay poor, I better get this education. I better stay in school and get it. I had no judgment of nobody else. I just knew that our situation was special. And my mother was one of those who believed that whatever is happening in this house stays in this house, and you couldn't go tell nobody. I mean, when I first got into college in 1970, I didn't have the money to pay for the credits. My mother's friend, Margaret Thompson, the late Margaret Thompson, came and she paid for my 18 credits. She gave me $64 for 18 credits at MATC. That started my career. The next person that helped me was Prentice McKinney. He told me, did you know about financial aid? I did not. And so it was a number all along the way. God kept sending people to me to help me get through. But I did appreciate what it was like to have nothing. Because most of my life, I always had everything we wanted. But for those 9 months, or those 9 months in 1969, my life changed dramatically. And so when people keep saying that it was up to me, but it was no judgment I ever had on anybody. I understand what it's like. Everything can fall apart right in front of you, and you have to adapt accordingly. I was just a teenager. I didn't know, but I knew I'd take any part-time job. I tried to help where I can. I shoveled snow that winter. I was doing everything possible, but it was all about the fact that I was given a lesson about life. One of them was education. One of them was the thinking process, and the other was to take risks to move forward. But it was no blame to anybody.
You know what?
But this thing about blaming, I can't do it because I've lived it.
A song that came to my head, one, because you said stemming from that conversation, and then as I was listening to you, was reach out and touch somebody's hand, which you just said, hey, people have lended you, some resources, even a bit of advice along the way, and it helped you be able to navigate the trials and the struggles that you had in order to get to a place where you felt that you was sustainable, and right now with the just complaining, we gotta reach out and touch somebody's hand to lend those experiences, to lend those resources, to lend that wisdom, because if we just keep it to ourselves, one, we are doing a disservice to the world as well as ourselves, because we've got a long way through help of others.
Yes, plus we're destroying ourselves on the inside because you start internalizing all that stuff that's happening to you that you have no control over. I mean, he talked about where you live. Look, I remember when I made over $100,000, and guess what? I wasn't leaving the North Side. I didn't want to. It was my choice. I could have moved somewhere in the suburb. Every time I got a big promotion, neighborhood would say, "You moving? You leaving us?" No, I'm fine. I was in a great neighborhood on the North Side near Madison High School. But it's always up to me to make those decisions, not to judge anybody or anybody else's position. But I love living on North Side. I've lived there my whole life. And so I know what it's like to navigate it. I understand all the things that scare people, all them things, I've had them. but I wasn't going anywhere
Hey,
because
Tyrone.
I love the people around me in the neighborhood out
Hey,
there.
Tyrone.
Yes.
Let me ask you a question, man. You still
Go
there?
ahead.
You still there?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. I'm gonna be the devil right now. What's that look?
You say it right now.
Give me that look like, oh, right now.
Right now, huh?
Hey, so you hit the lottery, where you gonna live?
22nd and Keith.
Unless maybe. Well, I'm senior and I'm retired now. I prefer to live in someplace warm, like some of my friends live in.
You're not gonna
Phoenix
stay on the
and-
north side?
in Florida. I'll probably move. My grandkids and my kids are here,
So what
and my great grands. I mean, I'm gonna get them, but I keep thinking about where do I want to be and how far do I want to be from them.
Stop it, man.
They're the determinant for me now.
So if you move to Florida, are you gonna move into the hood or are you gonna move into the outskirts?
I'm gonna move into what I can afford.
Okay, you won the lottery.
You won the lottery.
You won the lottery.
It doesn't matter because I believe that wealth is for a long term. I'm not going for the jugular and spending all my money in one place and then later on I go like I shouldn't have done that.
Well, you ain't
Okay.
gonna move in the pork and bean area neither.
Well, I don't know the pork and bean area there or Phoenix.
Yeah, the pork and beans is the hood in Florida. So.
Question.
Oh well,
Okay.
Hey,
as long as I can see some sun every day, I'm good.
okay, let me ask you this question. Now, if you won the lottery, will you go buy a house or will you build a house?
It'll be what my option would be because I love to have land. So if it's some land I can have, I have land and I would probably build one on that land.
Sound
Because
like
I
you're
like
going out to the
space.
suburbs.
Well,
I'm
you
gonna be in
need the space.
You going out to the
Space.
suburbs.
Ain't no space in the suburbs. There's some space in the
No, you
country.
going to the country.
He going out to the
You
outskirts.
going to the
He
country.
ain't going to the hood.
I don't know if
Yeah,
And he
That's
can
a
do
little-
whatever he
that's
want
like-
with his money.
Well,
Stop
that's what I'm
asking
saying,
him all
his
these
money.
questions.
I'm sorry, man. We up here spending your money, man.
I mean, look
Get off of him. Get off of him.
Wisconsin and some of them driven around Wisconsin and some of them rural areas. You would think it's the hood, all the garbage and the old
Yeah.
cars
It's
and
poor
everything
folks.
on the
Yeah.
lot. I've
Yeah.
seen some places in the rural areas of Wisconsin. I went like, whoa.
Yeah.
And see, and that's the problem with racism.
Yeah.
See, racism will make people think like, oh, okay, like we the only
me.
ones suffering,
Yeah.
and we the oh Lord, and I'm going like, go to Monticello, Kentucky,
Yeah.
all right, and then look who's suffering
In
So-
West Virginia.
in
Some of
West
the coal
Virginia. Look
miners
who's
and
suffering.
stuff.
You don't have to go far. Go to South Milwaukee. See who's
You
suffering.
could even go to Waukesha.
Yeah, parts of
You can
Waukesha.
find pockets of poverty. I found there were pockets of poverty in South Madison and in the southwest part of Wisconsin. They have some of the lowest income
Right.
and school problems that you would think of, and we ain't even there.
Right.
Mhm.
So it ain't. I don't make it no blast about just us. We human beings, which I think have been somehow beaten out of us, that somehow we're separate. No, we human. We have all the issues that every human has, and I'm going to acknowledge them. Period for all of us.
Hey Tyrone, I'm gonna be like the Clampets. Have me a billiard room.
Getting up on a dime.
Don't know that's a pool table. No. What do they call the pool sticks? Were they pot handlers?
Yeah. So you gonna go out in your backyard and shoot a shotgun, hoping some oil shoot up from your yard.
Oh man, black gold, Texas tea.
Like, go.
Black gold, that is.
Because I told people if I win the lottery, the first thing I'm doing is changing my number.
Oh yeah.
Well, there's some recommendations that you do regardless of what you have to do to protect yourself and everything about you if
Right.
you want to.
Oh, they tell you first thing you do is you
don't-
talk before you claim the money. Talk to a financial advisor before you even claim the money.
You do change your number and you do go away for 30 to 45 days until you cash it and you map out everything you're going to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
So I know that.
He leaving the hood. He leaving the hood. He leaving the hood. You take 30, 40 days.
Yeah,
You leave
well,
it.
I'm
When they had
73,
tricked
so I don't
Jeffrey,
know how
and
many
Jeffrey
years
thought he had won
I
the money in
got
Fresh Prince.
if I had that option.
Cause
Like,
everybody out,
Yeah,
bump you,
active money.
they just bump you. Then they go like, dude, you done win the money. Oh
Yeah,
snap!
that was last week.
and I've been in the same house now for 37 years, so I could, but
Mhm.
I don't know if I want to. It
But you
just
know what?
depends on the circumstance.
Part of it is we were out in California, and we went through Pebble Beach. I don't know if anybody's ever been out to California. You've been to Pebble Beach?
Damn, see, you learned something new. I always thought Pebble Beach was in Florida.
No.
So what's the one in Florida?
Beach? Miami?
No, the golf course.
No, Pebble Beach
Yeah,
Pebble Beach. So you go to Pebble Beach and
Talking
you
about
see
the golf-
houses
I
and you
think
go
that's-
like, that's an estate. Those are people's second homes.
Right.
That's their second home. You know, and here's what money can do.
Mm-hmm.
This is probably one of the most beautiful parts of America. I mean, if you ever go up there and you do that California one, the Pacific Coast Highway, and you go, God, this is beautiful out here. Well, it costs a whole lot of money.
Yeah.
Cost a whole lot of money. All right, y'all.
Appreciate you.
Appreciate you, man. Let me
Okay,
do this
thank you.
real quickly. We didn't do the hater rejoinder, but let me throw some hate. Tell me why Manny Pacquiao and Mayweather are fighting. Can anybody tell me?
Yeah,
Somebody-
we all know that. It's money.
Somebody broke.
Who's gonna pay to see two old fighters? They're 10 years, 15 years past their prime.
Well, if you got Netflix, you already paying.
The same people that paid to see Mike Tyson and the fake YouTuber fight.
Well,
Yeah.
he about to fight
But I
Mayweather
thought
too.
Mayweather was set for life.
Now probably with assets.
No,
Well, if you got
you know,
assets, you straight, because then you can
Well,
liquidate those assets.
Yeah, that you can liquidate them, but he probably needs some tangible cash right now.
right. It's something. It's something going on.
Oh, it's money.
Yeah,
It's obviously it's money.
it's most definitely time.
I got this thing, man. You know, like
He probably first generation with some real money, you know, and he got a lot of people that, you know, I'm pretty sure just off of his employers is probably upwards of 20 people,
okay.
you know.
Oh, you talking about the entourage, the company?
Well, just you know, whether it's his security, his money people, you know, other managers of certain things or whatever. It's probably upwards of 20 people, maybe more.
Ain't that how MC
Yeah,
Hammer
he
went
took
broke?
care and
Well, they said MC Hammer gave money to the whole hood.
yeah,
That's why he was.
yeah.
And all
It wasn't like he partied that money away.
Yeah.
You know, caller, welcome to the program.
Good morning. You're on your on the air.
Good morning. Listen, the guy that just finished talking to you about the lottery, did he actually win a lottery here in Wisconsin?
No. No.
Oh, y'all had
She was about to ask for some Brody too. Why don't you loan me about $5, brother?
no, I quit playing because I've never known anybody black to win any substantial money worth talking about in Wisconsin.
Thank you, my sister. It's Black History Month. Thank you, my sister, for pointing that out.
Yeah,
I'm sure some black person have won it, right?
Yeah.
Huh?
I'm sure some black person has won it. Never the big ones, though.
No,
That's
somebody
what I'm talking about. They give you kibbles and bits, but they don't give you the real money.
somebody won $1 million in Brown Deer.
Yeah,
$1
but we're
million
talking about the $500 million.
Hey,
Y'all is
listen,
big money.
$1
It's
million
always somewhere.
to people in the hood or a black person in Brown Deer is a lot of money.
Come on, brother.
It's a lot of money.
Well,
but
yeah,
don't
that's a lot of money.
don't-
but I'm talking about the
Don't be an
money.
apologist for the bias in the lottery system.
Now, I do
Some-
agree. I do agree
somebody-
with Mother. I do
What?
agree with Mother. I do agree with you because it do seem like
Yeah,
that, you know, man, that they give us kibbles and bits like $5,
Yeah, they do.
$10. Yeah.
and that's what I'm saying. Because I stopped playing, and you know, because
Mother, I got an idea.
What?
I got an idea. Me and you should go put on some masks and go up here to this bank and take all the money that's in the bank.
Well, I don't need you to do that. I want it all. If I'm gonna get it, I'm gonna go and tag them all and get all the money. And I go to jail and hell by myself.
Right.
You gotta have somebody to talk to in the cell, mother.
Oh yeah, and you going to jail because I'm snitching.
I want that $50,000.
She said, I don't need you for that.
I knock one of them brink trucks off.
Mother, I'll call you off the air. Stay on the line.
All right, I'll talk to y'all later.
All right.
She said, I don't need you for that. I'm going by myself.
My mama used to have this little poem. She said, I'm your friend right or wrong, but when you go to jail, I'm going home.
Hey, you own your own.
Yeah. So yeah, we all down for it. But he gonna do a criminal conspiracy
On air.
on air, not just over terrestrial radio,
Right.
YouTube, Facebook. They get robbed.
They coming to see me.
Hey, Keith, they be waiting on the outside by the car.
Hey, she said, I don't need you for that.
No,
I
she
go
don't.
get it myself.
Later on tonight,
She
he got
probably don't want you because you sit up here. Here's what we gonna do.
Right, on the air.
You know we can hear you.
right.
Hey, Jermaine, you better hope that nobody robbed no bank.
Oh, man, it's over.
They coming straight
They
for you.
coming to see me.
Wait a minute, a male and female couple.
Oh yeah.
He said it over here.
He getting that. He getting that knock.
Like, why are all these cop cars in front of WNOV?
Right. We're like,
They're not even gonna ask you. No, they just come on, man. You know what you
hey,
did.
you.
Come on, man.
Come on.
And I'm gonna tell you what I learned. They're gonna say, "Who's right out?"
He gonna Hey, everybody
point. Who's right out?
Remember, he said it was one time where it's good to lie. That time he ain't lying.
I ain't lying.
Telling the
You
truth.
Oh, dude, I would, man, but the truth, I gotta tell them the truth,
Sorry,
bro.
right out, but yeah, that's
And
right.
then right out gonna go, well, nigga, you be lying any other time. Y'all are welcome to the room.
Good morning.
Hey, DJ, what's
So,
up?
y'all is
All right,
absurd.
yourself.
Awesome. I have two, as far as Black history that I did learn. One is about Mount Bayou, Mississippi, which was one of the most prosperous townships in the Delta for many years. And what I was surprised is that it was founded by a person who I've mentioned on the show, who I discovered other things about, Isaiah T. Montgomery, who helped disenfranchise Black Mississippi voters at the end of the Reconstruction. But at the same time, he was building this Black community, which was modeled after his life as a slave, being owned by Confederate Presidents Jefferson Davis's brother, who allowed his slaves to read and, kind of let them run the plantation. You just couldn't leave. And so, in my opinion, I after looking at this video that I saw online, I kind of believe that he was trying to mimic what the slave master did, which probably a lot of people did, but he wound up having a very successful town. And I think the creator kind of exaggerated it, because the beginning of it was how this white man in the 1930s arrived in Mount Bayou and got into a dispute with a Black person and thought he could just say, hey, somebody go get the sheriff. Well, the sheriff was Black, the mayor was Black, so he got no results or no white privilege and was thrown out of town, so they say. And my dad is from Kemper County, Mississippi. Shouts out to Dr. Scott, my father, which is not far from Mount Bayou. And so I actually asked some questions, because I believe my grandfather and, the rest of the family used to travel there for different reasons to Mount Bayou. And he said, yeah, it was a very successful town. He said, but there was nowhere in Mississippi where white people weren't allowed at all, because the creator of this content kind of made it as if it was like a fortress. And he actually probably mentioned that, that, it was a fortress that people, that were white would not dare to come into. The Klan never rode down on or that type of thing. And it was sounded kind of crazy to me, you know, from 1879-ish to the civil rights time frame. And so even though Isaiah T. Montgomery was instrumental in stopping black people from voting in Mississippi during the civil rights marches and the freedom rides, Mount Bayou was a place of refuge for people like Dr. King, which I found really ironic. You created this, the man who created this town disenfranchised voters, and then 90 years later, the people who were risking their lives to register voters were living in the town that he created. And so it took me back around to this thing that my mom talks about. If you want to hear God laugh from a distance, talk about man's plan and then watch his plan play out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that town was founded on my birthday, July 12th,
really?
1887. Yep.
Yeah, so I was surprised that Mr. Montgomery was one of the founders of this place. But, you know, it just kind of shows that I guess people that had duality and in their personality and in their journey.
Yep. Yeah, that's, you know, we're talking about Josiah Henson and just, you know, we're all paradoxical, and we all have contradictions in our lives, right? I wish everybody would just be consistently, this is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, we do. So it took a minute for Josiah Henson to go like, oh, these white folks don't really care about me, right? Because he just kept looking at the goodness of them that, let's just say, it just didn't exist. You know, I mean, he found that out. They looked at him as being what he was, a piece of property and not fully human. And can I get back to something? And this is the other thing that I say to Al, say to everybody, and I appreciate the sister. Let's not lose sight of people's humanity.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say it again. Let's not lose sight of people's humanity. You know, we sometimes we feel better because that ain't me, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you know, you got your thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
That ain't me. You know, so that's the whole thing. How do we react? That's what the struggle in America is for descendants of enslaved Africans, right? We want to be fully human. That's what we want to be, right? That's our aspiration. And it manifests itself in different ways. Some people think materially that'll make me fully human. Maybe not. I don't know. But I know that that's what I want respected. I want my humanity respected. And it's easy when we start getting into categories, because like when I ask, what do you see the first thing in the morning when you look in the mirror? Do you see a human being? Do you see a black person? I see a human being. Then all this other stuff, but that's my first step. And we should always, religion is about building people's humanity, right? And then for those of us who are Christians, you know, we subscribe to this concept of grace, right? Grace has been given to us, but then we need to extend grace to others. And that's hard.
Mm-hmm.
That's really hard, because I don't know why they couldn't do it. I did it. They ain't you.
Yeah.
I appreciate you, caller.
All right, sir.
You're listening to Community Voice. We will be right back after the break.
All right, welcome back to Community Voice as we wrap up, soon to wrap up another program. I was asking Jermaine, is there any other criminal enterprises that I remember in The Wire, they was having a meeting and dude is over there and he's just writing. He's writing. Dude said, "What you doing?" He said, "I'm taking notes." He said, "Man, you don't take notes at a criminal." We should have been planning a crime and you document what we doing.
We all getting caught.
actually, he got to be the first one to go.
Yeah, he got to go.
What was that? It was it Bad Bosses? And the dude put up on the board what they would go do in terms of murder, and he used a permanent marker.
Yeah. Knew what time it was.
Oh, that's a fool.
Well, you know,
some people can't do wrong, right?
Yeah.
There you go. That was the first thing on my mind. You just kind of going like, well, what was you thinking? You know, and speaking of that, I ain't gonna say he didn't do it right because I had a little mad respect. The dude that started off at Walmart and he did something at Walmart, stole a car at Walmart. He go through. They chase him, cut off the chase, pick it up again. They stop him. He jumps in. Yeah, he jumps in the cop car.
Oh, I stole the cop car. Oh, yeah. That was just a couple weeks ago.
Yeah. I'm going like, man, this dude was just like on
a GTA in real life.
Was he real talk, man?
No, he was
on the thing, but when he stole the cop car.
Yeah.
Now, is it true that they stole a tank in Memphis?
Yes. They stole, man, they got the video. Lil Pookie and Ray now stole one of the reserves tank and drove it into the hood and was hanging off of the thing. They got it on video. You can Google it.
Dang. Now you know what?
Yeah, man, Lil Pookie them didn't.
Okay, hold on.
Tank.
They in jail, ain't they?
I'm sure.
DJ,
yeah.
I want to know.
Those are federal, man.
Yeah, that's fair.
They better be sure that they didn't bring out one of them missiles to blow them up.
Yeah, or they figured out how to use that as a weapon because everybody would have been.
Who drove?
No, I'm talking about that tank. They would have blew that tank up.
Or if they would have fired off the tank. If they would have fired
I'm
off
saying,
the tank.
you know, you could get shot and not have no weapons on you. So the fact that you got a tank
and you got a whole cannon.
Yeah, I'm saying they could have lit you. They could have barbecued you,
bro. It was
unbelievable. Lit that whole neighborhood up.
It was so funny. It was so funny because when they pulled into the neighborhood, and they were swinging their shirt around up to top.
And they're not even in North Carolina to be doing that.
Hey, Keith and DJ, who drove the tank? Who? They got to be real
Pookie,
real smart and book known to drive the tank.
What did I say about our kids?
Oh man, we gonna figure it out.
They're smart.
We gonna figure it out.
It's just where they're using that intelligence and how they're using that intelligence. But to steal a tank,
you got to be cold. Listen, just like I tell these young brothers out here that sell illegal products, you are the smartest person in the world because in order to know ounces and things like that, you have to know math.
Right.
And
chemistry.
You are a chemist. No, seriously. You are a chemist. So if you took that energy and turned it and put it into being a positive chemist, man, you can make crazy money.
But here's where you then have a bit of a divergence. Because even though you have that potential, there's no one there who is going to sharpen it, to direct you in order to use that. Like, for example, now back in the day when crack was big, tell me, anybody ever heard of a crack house blowing up?
Never.
Nope.
Never.
You heard about those crystal meth houses blowing up on a regular?
Kaboom.
Kaboom.
Oh, you was a fool.
Kaboom.
Kaboom, boom.
So it takes a certain genius to be able to cook up your drugs and don't blow up the house.
Kaboom.
No, seriously, because you have to know how much baking soda, you don't have to know how much to put in, and then how long to cook it, and then after when you bring it out, how to press it, stretch it, and all of that. So you are.
So you went to a seminar.
Yeah, man, I kind of conducted a seminar.
Yeah, he went to a seminar.
I kind of conducted one.
He went to a seminar.
You know, take the
Rapper Bay.
They waiting on
Now
you.
you cooking up crack.
You don't take the hanger, stir it up.
Man, what time do we gotta leave? I need to get away from
I'm
here.
getting out of here before the cops get here. That's
Yeah,
all right.
Hey, I'm telling on everybody, we all going.
Right.
Clark,
'Cause-
he did
I don't know nothing.
Don't tell him.
Well, Richard Pryor said, I thought I was blind till I see you walk up in here. I ain't seen nothing.
Hey,
Are you kidding?
I'm like Clark. My name Bennett.
Ain't in it.
I ain't in it.
Ain't in it, man.
Everybody.
You know, and you know, and that's crazy, man, because how many people think about it, man, because even Jesus's guys kind of got away,
Man, listen.
didn't they?
One thing I found out
They
is everybody that hung with Jesus had a job. Everybody. So he didn't hang around people, man, that didn't have nothing going for himself. I mean, going for themselves. So yeah, man, he hung around.
You know
Doctors
what
and
else I
lawyers.
realized is that like how they talked about all African villages, and then
Mhm.
you talk about Jesus and the disciples.
Mhm.
Everyone had their own specific trade
Yeah,
or job.
Yeah.
You know, so when you are constructing a team,
Yeah.
everyone
Plays a part.
plays a part and have a fulfillment
Yeah.
of that team
Yeah.
because you know they don't all have the same
Yep.
job
Yep.
duties. You know, one is the cook, the other
Yep.
one is the hunter,
Yep.
the other one
It's a
know
fisherman. Yep.
you know prepares the medicine
Yep.
and things of that nature. You know, and I think that is something that we've lost.
Yeah.
You know, when you know having friends, you know, building our own teams, whether it's
Surround
and-
yourself with great.
do you
yeah.
do you think though we have not done a good job of teaching community?
I agree.
And where we really emphasize the individual as opposed to saying we are a community. Like I was I was talking to student minister William Muhammad, and he kind of said, real nice. I said, well, I'm not a member of the nation. He said, oh no, brother, you are. The thing that I'm moving towards in my life is there's a universality, there's a community, right? It's what Bishop Tutu calls Ubuntu. You know, that we are connected. And I think that and again, when we can be very pejorative in our you know, as opposed to saying, what is the collective good that I do? When you were doing reach out and touch somebody, right? Each one reach one. You know, I mean, it is, I think it has to be more community and not let these kind of temporal parochial things get in the way. Here's one of my universals. I love great preaching, regardless of your denominational stripe.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm because it's about truth,
Yeah.
right? And truth is bigger than your denomination.
Yeah.
You know, and so I think, but that has to be something where there has to be a positive group think. I think that's where I'm getting to, where okay, yeah, we'll sit up and say things, and the sister is right. It ain't the whole North Side,
Right.
and we have to be very careful. Or to say that all and I'm
The roads that came from concrete.
and let me
Right.
say this,
Yeah.
and then I'm throwing off my soapbox. We're in a circle. I get real frustrated when I hear older people talk about how bad the kids are. That's my frustration, because if you look at it, though some of the things that they're able to do is different than we were able to do, it's still the same dumb stuff. We was on dumb stuff
Man.
when we were young.
Yes,
Some
we
of these
were.
kids is still bad as a fool though.
Oh yeah, and I grew up with some.
Yeah.
You know, where do we get that term half brought up?
Yeah.
That wasn't something we just dropped in 2026.
Right.
You know, act like you got some home training,
Yeah.
because there were some
Been around
people,
for a while,
right?
yeah.
Because there's been some people didn't have any home
Yeah,
training.
you're right.
You know, so you know, and then I think the other thing is we have to look at the economics in Milwaukee. Those of us, again, my family's been here since 37. So when you look at people, but you know, the population gets poor. So you're dealing with issues that comes along with poverty. It's not an excuse, but it's a causal factor. And you have to acknowledge that. Yeah, there are a lot of poor people that don't steal,
Yeah.
but there's a lot of people that's poor that do steal. And sometimes it's because they're poor. And what I mean is they're trying to get food, right? They might, and then the other thing is status. What is it called? Status chasing? What am I?
Clout chasing.
Clout chasing. Because if we look like,
of course.
I mean, that's why when you go to a black church on Sunday, even dressed down is dressed up.
Yeah.
That's true. We're gonna call welcome to the program.
I've seen it.
Hey, that boy preaching, boy. He preaching today. he working early.
Yeah, that boy good.
Good morning. You on there?
What up, Pastor Pete?
What up, man?
What up, DJ?
What up?
What up, Ramo? What up, Super Negro?
Who you with?
Speaking of Jesus, it was this guy, right? Him and his son was sitting at the table. So the son said, "Dad, would you buy me a car?" So Dad said, "Okay, son, I'll buy you a car if you bring your grades up, you read the Bible, and you cut your hair." Son said, "Okay." So a month later, his son came back and said, "Dad, you ready to buy me that car?" Dad looked at his report card. He said, "I see your grades came up, and I've been noticing you've been reading the Bible, but it's one thing that you didn't do. You didn't cut your hair." So the son said, "Well, Dad, Jesus had long hair." So Dad looked at him and said, "Jesus also walked everywhere he went."
There you go. You made.
You nailed it today.
Yeah, you did.
And there's another thing. Hey, y'all have a good week.
Hey, you
man.
too, man. Thank you. Yeah, he nailed it today. That's a 10.
Yeah.
That's a 10.
Yeah.
Hey, that's an epic comeback from last week.
Yeah, last week was. What were we doing when we talk about lying and we had the different things?
Oh, yeah. It's like, if he lies,
Is he lying or is he telling the truth? Caller, welcome to the program.
Good morning. You're on there.
Question. Well, one thing we said, you're talking about community as the black community. Let's say black community. What is community? I remember Dr. Finlacy and Dr. Terry and having our food, our own grocery stores, and our section that we really work together. We don't have that anymore. And it's not like there's not black doctors out there and some markets and things like, but they don't have any togetherness. That community mind is not there anymore.
Well, isn't it though, like it's also changed how we deliver health care? It's like, do you remember Marcus Welby?
Yes.
I mean, it was a different time when we were coming along in terms of how healthcare is delivered now. So there are very few doctors who are in a private practice. They just can't afford to do it anymore, right? I mean, so and if you're a specialty, if you're a plastic surgeon, well, yeah, you might be able to operate outside of a hospital system, but most doctors are not. They just can't do it like they used to do it. I just think maybe because healthcare delivery is changing.
Myself, coming from a large family, Dr. Terry was our doctor, and he used to come to the house and make sure we all had our shots, and he took care of all of us, And I remember those days. I remember when we went to the market and the black markets and the stores, and my dad owned his own auto repair business. And it was just a connection of everybody,
right.
And I know of community. That's what I know.
But I think we had to be more, and I agree. I don't think much has changed. Where because a white mortician wasn't going to bury you, right? A white doctor wasn't necessarily going to serve you, and so then it created that need. Now we would, I think, if nothing else, because we still lived in Milwaukee anyway. We still lived in close proximity.
Mm-hmm.
You know, where you were pretty near a doctor, you certainly near educators. So if I'm living on the block, I could see that.
Yeah.
You know, I was more adjacent. I think now, because it's kind of where we started
even
off
with
with
churches, you know, before black people got enough money to drive,
Right.
Majority of the churches was in walking distance.
Yep, walk-in churches, and now most churches in our community are drive-in.
Yeah.
You know, where metropolitan, I would say about 30%.
You know, just like
church
just to
came
make
from
that, you
the-
know, I was just down in Mississippi for the holidays, and my ex-brother-in-law, he's a pastor, and he's like 45 miles from where we had to head to the church. Me and my daughter in the car, and she said, "Dad, I said, baby, this is the way it is down here. You know, it's different.
Mm-hmm.
But one here, we spoiled. We're really spoiled. We spoiled big time.
Yeah.
Everything is close there, and we used to, like they just said, food desert here. Down south, you go 35, 40 miles to a store.
Right.
You know, and we used to have everything. But the thing is, it's nice to have your own community, but community is in the mind.
Mm-hmm.
You know, being able to work within the region of your people, and we don't trust each other anymore.
Mm-hmm.
We make one mistake, and our people throw us to the dogs, throw us under the bus.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing here is that where are we going to come out? Because the white person, you go to white person, they screw up, you go back and let them screw up again. You go to black person, and you do your application, you ask them, do I got to give you my social security number? You go to white person, just throw it to them, and they destroy your life. You know.
Well, you know what though, man.
What?
Let me sit up here. I'm gonna sound hypocritical, right? But maybe it's the way we mess up.
Hey, man, hold on. Hold on, man. Our people go to the store and sell a candy bar. They go to the store and steal a whole pallet. Come on now.
So maybe it ain't that people ain't messing up. Maybe it's the style of the mess up that makes you go like, no, man.
Come on now. I need you to make sense of this. We're not stealing big enough.
No, I'm just saying, you know. No, you know, maybe it's how we stealing. Not that we stealing. It's how we stealing.
But how we stealing? But hold on, we ain't stealing big enough. Come on, listen.
Let me give you a great example. During the '67 riots, right? People were stealing TVs. People were stealing couches. We were on First Street. All of a sudden, we hear a knock on the door. Gunshots, and we hear a knock on the door. Here come my Uncle Money. He got a box. We hear this clanging in the box. What's it? You know, he hit the liquor store, right? My grandmother go, they out there stealing TVs. You hit the liquor store. So it ain't that we stealing. Maybe it's just what we stealing. You know, and I felt bad. I felt bad for the two brothers that stole the flat screen during Hurricane Katrina.
Right.
What was wrong with that?
Where you gonna plug it up at?
Well, we got to be more strategic. Let's put it out there. We got to be more strategic as a person.
There you go. There you go.
And we learn how to be more strategic as a people. We might be able to feel better and think better and get around the corners, and then we might trust each other better. Come on now.
Hey, no, I think you, as atrocious as that may sound, you do got a point, man.
Hey, because
You do got a point.
Hey, because Keith just brought up the point. The dude that stole the TV during the hurricane, you running around with a 95-inch on your shoulders.
No place to plug it up. Plug it up.
I'm just thinking about Bernie Madoff. You know, that type of stealing is life changing.
That's stealing. That's stealing.
You know what I'm saying? And we talking about a bag of Skittles.
Yeah.
He was stealing more than some Skittles.
Yeah.
I know a dude personally. He stole over $70 million, right?
Where he at?
In the South, right? But he got away with it. And then he owed my organization so many million. And he made sure we got most of our money back, but he got away with 70 million.
Right.
He only did like 2.5 years.
Wow.
And then he had to pay back only 70,000.
What?
Yeah. 10%.
Oh, that's the Man, that's some good stealing.
Wow, hey man, that cat
But
got some money.
Well, let me do this, man. Let me do this because people gonna be. We are not encouraged.
We're not encouraging.
We're not encouraging. We just have
how
a
about-
sociological conversation.
How about this? Did the person that stole that Sydney, did he look like us?
No.
Oh well, no, he need to do more than
Wait,
he need to do more than 2 years.
Wait a minute. I thought there was something wrong with that story.
He got away.
Because if he was a black dude and you told me he only got 2 years for stealing 70 million.
He need to do more.
Okay, thank you for that
They'll give you
clarification. I
19
appreciate that.
They give you 19 years for jaywalking.
Yeah,
So guess what color he is?
Because I was looking at some hard time for parking tickets.
Yeah, right.
I was looking at getting ready to do some deep time. Well, thank you for that clip. See the point?
Yeah.
Yep.
See the point? You know, it is like, okay. So again, let me do this disclaimer.
Different strokes for different folks.
We're just having observational kind of conversations. We're not endorsing theft. We're not endorsing theft.
Could be.
Well, I know you planning a bank robbery.
me and mother go. Hey, we gonna pull off a caper. Y'all gonna see us on
You
the
take
news.
mother name out of that because she already said she don't need you for that.
No, I'm including mother. If
She
I go
already
down, she
said
going down too.
She don't need.
I'm gonna
you
need
for
somebody
that.
to talk to when we in booking.
Have you no shame?
No, I'm telling them everybody.
You gonna send the church mother to jail?
Yeah, because the church musician going.
Hey,
You gotta have something to talk
I'm
about.
turning my phone off and all GPS devices. All right, you
I'm
won't
calling
be no
DJ.
finding me. There
TJ,
won't be no finding me.
hey, can you call Keith and tell him?
Are you gonna
Pray
hear
for us.
And you know what I'm gonna get from DJ? I'm gonna get a whisper text.
Right.
Right out. You about right out?
Right out in mother got caught. They really did it.
The first whisper text I ever got from DJ. I never knew you could whisper in a text. DJ sent me a whisper text. I was like, wow, how you do that? Let me thank Devon Jones, DJ the Protege, Clark Kent, thank you.
Thank you.
Jermaine Rideout, thank you. Debo,
Yeah.
thank you. Callers, we thank you. The good Lord willing, Creek Don't Rise. Hope to talk to everybody on. And again, tomorrow, Village Library, safe and sound. Come out. Certainly, community block clubs come out tomorrow at Village Library right there on the corner of 35th and Village. All right. Good Lord willing, Creek Don't Rise. Hope to talk to everybody on Monday. Y'all have a good weekend and go from this place in peace.